Historically, the movement toward androgyny occurs in the late phases of culture. Okay, as a civilization is starting to unravel. Okay, and that you can find it again and again and again through history in the.
Hello, it's April 2024, and this brief video is going to be inspired by some statements that I heard a while back and which I had revisited recently. And these statements have to do with, for example, the cycles of civilization and the 100-year patterns within. And there seems to be people coming up with their own theories, beliefs, etc., personal fictions about it being 140 years, and some saying, oh, they think it's 200 years and whatever. And there's a key difference between the literal 100-year patterns and what other people, for example, want to believe are the patterns. And that is predictions. Now, I've talked about this for a very long time, for the past decade or so, especially over the past 3 years, when the world was dealing with whatever it was dealing with. And I was telling people when certain things would be ending, which they did, and I stated this in videos. And I remember even during those times, people challenging me, you know, well, the cycles of civilization and patterns within are all nonsense and everything else, and, you know, explaining to them. And some people would say, okay, yeah, I get it, and some people would just fluff it off and carry on. And there was a few people that I engaged who were adamant. It was, oh no, it's 140 years, and explain to them, what predictions can you make with your 140-year pattern? Never got a response. And a lot of people actually noticed that everything that I was saying was going to happen happened, and they said, hey, you know, what are you all about, and so forth. But anyway, I'm digressing. But this cycles of civilization, the patterns within, are a very real thing. And even, for example, with what we're told history is, we can see the cycles. Now, I'm just going to stop here for a moment for those who don't know. Hard times create strong people. Strong people create good times. Good times create weak people, and weak people create hard times. And then the cycle repeats. And as for the cycles of civilization, we are in the late stage of the last stage of civilization, the age of decadence, again. And we repeat history because history is forgotten, either by chance or design. And what always follows is our demise. And that's basically the two topics here in a nutshell. And we can see, even in modern times, the residuals from previous civilizations and previous cycles. There's a bit of an overlap. And this is how we know, for example, that we're 100 years on the patterns within the cycles of civilization because of this overlap and the residuals. And we can even see this on the macro, where we have societies and so forth, how they can rise and fall. And again, through what is told as history, we can observe the same type of thing. So I just really want to highlight all this with regards to the cycles of civilization and the patterns within. And these patterns are 100 years. And people were asking, well, What happens after, for example, when certain things had ended? What's going to follow? And I basically told them, and I said, this is how you can see the pattern for yourself. Just look through, I guess what you call more modern history. And here we are today, experiencing exactly the same things that I stated over the past several years, as well as over the past decade. There's no crystal ball or anything else. It's just using some logic, common sense, critical thinking skills, an extensive knowledge base, and being able to separate emotions when making conclusions. And that's really all in a nutshell. And we see this type of thing with people, for example, not just with the cycles of civilization and the patterns within, but we see this, for example, with people talking about belief systems and religions and so forth. And what I've been telling people for a very long time is stop focusing on the nonsense of whose belief system or religion is accurate and correct, and whose God is true and all this other stuff. What's important is just to focus on the Most High. Not who you think He is, but just focus on the Most High. Some might call the Most High God, for example, capital G, or the Creator. But just focus on the Most High. Forget about everything else. I'm going to close off by saying, everyone, when this game of life is over, this one, everyone is going to be in for a big surprise. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.